Hey everybody, it's Savannah Taylor, the Gardenista, your kitchen garden coach. Welcome back to the classroom. Well, we are winding down with spring, you guys. Can you believe it? It's already almost over. Well, good news is it's time to plant something else. And today we are back with the top 10 things to plant for summer. Now, before I get started, I just want to give a little shout out to the doTerra oils. Listen, if you struggle with mosquitoes and mosquito bites and whatnot, you want to run, not walk, to get this. And I'll tell you why, especially if you uh, don't want to put chemicals on your body. I know a lot of the products in the stores that have the DEET and whatnot. And to be honest, those really don't work as well as this for me. And listen, a little bit of this goes a long way, okay? And it keeps flies away. You can use it on your plants. I actually have a whole video. I'll put a link down below over how to use this on your plants and your body. And it also helps with internal soothing coughs. Listen, I'll put the whole link down below because I can go on and on about doTerra. You don't have to be a member anymore. These are now available in my Amazon store. Yay. So again, get yourself some of these. And I'm telling you, I've been outside all day long, not one mosquito bite. And y'all know I got a big old backyard. I got a lot going on here. The operation is huge and not one mosquito bite. I'm telling you. Okay. So yes, this will be in my Amazon store. Links down below. Now, it's a list of 10, y'all. So don't judge me. I wrote my list out because I didn't want to forget anything. The one thing I hate is after I do a shoot and then I'm like, oh, I forgot to add. So I got my list right here. Okay. And I'm also going to have to put on my, yeah. Okay. Keep on living as my grandmother used to say. But anyway. Okay. So the first thing I want to let you guys know is melons. Now, here's the exciting thing about the melons. I just shot a video on how to plant melons. And I'm talking about I covered cantaloupe, watermelons, honeydew, you name it, all those great summer fruits. So I just shot that video. I'll put a link down below. I started from A to Z, and I literally, because I know some of you comment down below that you are visual learners and you really need to see, and I get it. I'm not judging beginners. I get it. Okay. So I did put how I put the seed in the soil, the whole shebang. Okay. So yes, melons are what you want to definitely start getting in the soil for summer because they don't do nothing in cold weather. You can try if you want to, but you ain't gonna get no action. Okay. Now I am so excited about number 2 because I have already started these, and this is something that gets a lot of excitement also as we get ready for the holidays later on in the year. But anyway, sweet potatoes. Listen, so sweet potatoes, if you don't know, there are no sweet potato seeds. What you have to do is you have to grow sweet potato slips. Okay, sweet potato slips. And what are slips? They're really just the sprouts that come up off the yam or the sweet potato. And in my bed here, I've already taken some yams from last season, if you can believe that. Listen, let me tell you. I was repurposing some soil, and it was the soil, one of the grow bags that I had I was growing these sweet potatoes in, and I thought I had harvested them all from last season. I'm telling you, last season, okay? And I started hitting, I'm like, what is that, a rock? It was these sweet potatoes, and they were perfectly perfect. Crazy. I'm telling you, yams never cease to amaze me. They do something just about every season to make me go, really? So, yes, there was no need for me to go back to the store and buy more yams. I already had some. Now, if you do need to purchase yams to start this process, make sure you get organic yams, organic sweet potatoes. Okay. Now, there are white sweet potatoes and there are orange and purple ones. I'm not talking about the white ones. Okay. I'm talking about the orange yams, the orange sweet potatoes. Make sure they are organic because what sometimes they will do is they will spray the yams or the sweet potatoes with inhibitors and they won't sprout. Okay. And that's so that they can keep them on the shelf longer. Okay. So make sure that if you are going to do this, you get organic yams. Now, for those of you who are still like, I have no idea what is she talking about? How do I get these yams? Listen, I'm just going to put a link down below how to grow sweet potatoes, but it's a two-step process because once the sprouts grow, you take those sprouts off and you put them in water, plant them. Like I said, it's a process. So I'm going to put a link below with all the details on how to grow. But now is the time, even though if you want to have these in time for the holidays for your Thanksgiving table, make them sweet potato pies and candied yams, you need to get your whole yam in the soil. Now, one last thing about this, because some of you who are wondering, why in the world does she have the whole dang yam in the soil? So, yes, it is traditional to put the yam in water with the toothpicks, and you can still do it like that. I know that's a very common traditional way. However, I learned this from someone who has been doing this much longer than I have. And they shared with me how when you put it in the soil like this, it's able to take on the whole energy of the yam. The whole energy of the yam gets used and you actually get more slips. And also it's not clogging up your kitchen counter too. I mean, because that can get a little old and you don't have to change the water. So there you go. But again, it's a whole operation, you guys. I'm going to put the links down below, but now is the time to get them in the soil if you want them in time for your holiday table, because it is a two-step process. All right. Okay, number 3 is your squash. Now, squash, zucchini, acorn, butternut, yellow squash. If squash is in the name, you want to get those seeds in the soil right now. But here's something that a lot of people forget is a squash: pumpkins. Pumpkins are also a squash. And I usually have to start my pumpkins just a slightly little bit early, because I like to grow the big max pumpkins. I like to have my little nieces and nephews over, and I have a little pumpkin patch party here for them to come and pick out their own pumpkin. But again, I like to grow the big max pumpkins. Now, Big Mac's pumpkins can get up to really big, like 50 pounds plus. I've heard of some getting 100 pounds. I haven't been able to get mine that big, but they do grow pretty big. If you want those, you do need to start those now. And I would also, as a little tip, if it gets super hot where you are, you might want to also prepare to shade them with some shade cloth when it gets to that point, just so the plant doesn't get stressed out. All right, just so it doesn't get stressed out. Now, one other thing about squash, and this really goes for everything that you grow. If you are using fertilizer that you've bought, you don't want to over fertilize, you guys. And this is especially true with squash. I learned a very valuable lesson years ago where, man, I was going to grow me some big old squash and I went ham, okay, on the fertilizer. I think I fertilized every month. Don't listen. We've all made mistakes. What happened was I got big, beautiful leaves. I did not get one squash that whole season, okay? Because I learned that there is such a thing as over fertilizing, where the plant is, I guess it just makes the plant lazy and it won't push out any female flowers. I got a whole bunch of male flowers, a whole bunch of beautiful leaves, and I did not get any fruit, no squash. So that can happen if you over fertilize. And that, like I said, that goes for just about anything. Now, for those of you who follow me, you know that I like to use compost tea. I'll have a link to that video down below as well. Compost tea it's not rocket science. I simply use my compost. I take a clump of it, I'll put it in my watering can, add water, and I got tea. Again, it ain't nothing deep, y'all. Okay. But that's a gentle fertilizer that you can use regularly, and it won't burn your plants. It won't stress them out. You won't be over fertilizing. It's made pretty much of what they're made of. Okay. But yes, compost tea is a wonderful, gentle fertilizer that you can use regularly. Okay, so the next thing to get in the soil is your string beans. I did string beans last season, and man, I'm telling you, there is something about homegrown string beans that are just, it doesn't compare to what you get in the grocery store. The taste, the flavor, man, it's very intoxicating. Okay. And once you've grown your own string beans, it's a little difficult to go back to store bought. So I'm just warning you, once you grow them, you're going to want to grow them every season, and you want to grow them in abundance. Now, they are a little laborious to harvest. I'm telling you that right off the bat, okay, because they're string beans, and you do have to pick them one by one. And then when you prepare them, you need to clip off the ends. I'm not going to go into all that, but yum, okay, yum. Now, the next thing you want to get into the soil are peppers. And I'm talking bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, habanero peppers, whatever peppers you like to grow. It's time to get them in the soil. Peppers, you need to be patient. Okay, they take a just slightly bit longer. Average 3 months, I would say 4 months for the big bell peppers. If you're just doing, like I said, the jalapeno and the little smaller peppers, okay, you can 3 months is sufficient. But I would say a little bit longer if you want the big bell peppers. You need at least 3 to 4 months of a warm growing season to have your bell peppers. Now, here's the other thing I want you to remember about bell peppers. The good news is that they have a lifespan of about 5 years, up to 5 years. You can overwinter them, pull them out of the frost so that they don't get in the frost, or cover them up so you can overwinter them, and then bring them back out when the weather warms up, and they'll come back. But up to 5 years they can last. Now, what's the other news? It's not bad news, it's just something you need to be mindful of, is that wherever you plant them, that's where they're going to live for the next 5 years. Okay, so you don't want to use a space that you're going to want to plant something else there, because them bell peppers are going to be there for a minute. Now, what I recommend you do is to use grow bags, something like grow bags, so that you can move those plants anywhere you want to. If it gets too hot, you can move them out of the way. If like I said, if you want to overwinter them, if you live in a climate that gets frost, because I'm here in Southern California, we don't really get frost like that. But if you live in a climate where you get frost and snow or whatever, you can move that grow bag into a shed, your garage, or just cover them with a something. But that's what you want to be mindful of if you're growing peppers. Now, number six, I feel some kind of way about number six. It's corn. Now, the reason why I feel some kind of way about corn is I tried to grow corn and I was not successful. I'm just being transparent. I love corn. I really want it. And they're so nice. They look so beautiful and make your garden look all extra and dramatic. I wasn't successful with growing corn, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes you might, okay, play around with it. Don't let my failure be your future, okay? But see, corn has a special kind of way that it has to pollinate, okay? And you want to grow them close together. You can't grow them spaced out. They need to grow close together because the pollen, it falls on each other, okay? And there's a special kind of way you have to do it. Now, I tried it a couple times, and my corn came out all spotty, and it was just ugly. But again, don't let my failure be your future. Try it, because now is the time, like I said, to get your corn seeds in the soil. All right. And just play around with it. And if you're successful with it, please let me know and give me some tips. Okay. In the comments down below. Listen, I will not be offended. The next thing on your summer growing list should definitely include tomatoes. I'm so proud of my tomatoes. I am growing tomatoes in my green stock. And for those of you who follow me, if it ain't a grow bag, I will sing the praises of a green stock in a minute. I am growing tomatoes in my green stock. They are already flowering. I'm so excited. I'm growing all different kinds. I'm growing beefsteak, cherry, Roma, and I'm even growing a black cherry tomato. Now, if you've never tasted a black cherry tomato, baby, you are going to love those. I will have links to those seeds in my Amazon store. They taste like almost grapes. They are so sweet. You can literally snack on those things. I think they're snackable. They're just snackables. I would call them snackable tomatoes. You could pop them. I can eat a whole bucket of those things. They're so good. But tomatoes, super easy to grow, but you want to be careful not to grow them close to just anything. Now, I'll tell you, tomatoes can be a bit of a diva. They catch disease very easily. So, couple tips: water them from below. Don't hose them down. All right. Do not hose down any plants, really, but especially tomatoes, because the splashback can maybe have something in them. And like I said, they'll catch a disease. The other thing is don't plant them. Be careful what you plant them around. Okay. I personally don't really want to plant them next to hardly anything. Now, a little tip, and this is real old school, y'all. If you want to add really great extra flavor to your tomatoes, some of you already know what I'm about to say, plant a little garlic and onions in the same soil near them, and it will enhance the flavor of your tomatoes. You are going to thank me. I can't wait to see your comments after some of you are successful with this. But yes, that's a little old school trick to enhance the flavor of your tomatoes, is to plant a little garlic next to them and some onions next to them. Now, if you don't know how to do that, again, garlic is super easy. I'll put a link down below to that video. It was actually my first video that I did for YouTube. I showed how to plant garlic. It has a long growing season, but that's okay, because even before it completely is done, it takes 6 months to grow garlic. But even during in its growing season, it wards off pests. It enhances the flavors of your tomatoes. It's wonderful. So when you see your garlic on the countertop and it starts to sprout, don't throw it out. Just plop it right in your garden. Separate the cloves and just plop it right in the soil. I plug garlic all over my garden because it's a wonderful pest deterrent, but especially with my tomatoes for that very reason. So again, if you're new to growing garlic, just know it does have a very long growing season. Plant it any time of the year because, like I said, it takes 6 months. It don't really matter. And it's very cold hardy. The frost and the snow ain't going to bother at all. So garlic is always, never throw away your garlic when you see it, especially if you see it sprouting. That's giving you a head start pretty much. Now, it's because the cool weather season is leaving us. Lettuce also tends to leave us. It's a little late to try to grow, lettuce. It is definitely a cool weather crop. However, there's a couple ways around that. Actually, 3 ways around that. Now, I still am growing some lettuce in my green stalk, but I have my green stalk under a patio where it's not in direct sun. And the nights are still a little cool. We're getting some 80, 90-degree days, but the evenings are still pretty cool. And my lettuce is still hanging in there pretty well. But I'm pretty sure once the weather starts getting hot, it's going to bolt. Bolting means it's going to go to seed. It's not going to keep producing lettuce leaves anymore. It's going to flower and start giving off seeds. So, I'll be able to use those seeds. Now, here's the other thing you can do. You can grow Swiss chard. Swiss chard is very heat tolerant, and you can still use it in your salads and all of that. Here's another way around it. There are what's called lettuce it's a heat wave blend. And I will have, those are available in my Amazon store. So I'll have links to that down below. But yes, there are different kinds of lettuce that are a heat wave blend. And I do have some of those growing in my bed right here. So yes, and they're just as delicious. They're just as beautiful, taste, wonderful in your salad. So it's, if you want to still grow a salad bowl, a salad bar, in your raised beds, in your grow bags or whatnot, it's not too late. You just have to, use a special blend, use Swiss chard, or keep it out of the direct heat. Now, my other favorite thing to grow in summer is eggplant. Now, before some of you kind of fast forward and be like, I don't like eggplant. Listen, little tip on that. Let the eggplant, when you slice it up, put it on a paper towel and it will start beating, or put salt on it and it'll start beating up moisture. That salt is going to draw out the bitterness. And that's why some of you probably don't like eggplant. But brown here, honey, we will devour some fried eggplant. Yes, I did say fried. That's the way I love it. Fried eggplant. I'm not really an eggplant parmesan person, so I'm not judging. That's just not my thing. But I do love me some fried eggplant as well as some fried zucchini. But yes, fried eggplant. Oh, but yes, if you're not an eggplant lover, try, like I said, slicing it up, sprinkling it with some kosher salt, give it about an hour to let that bitterness draw out. You'll see water beads on top, and then you just wash it off, let it dry, and then prepare as you normally would. Now, like I said, I will dredge it in some panko crumbs, eggs, and start frying them up and sprinkle some salt on it, and they are so delicious. But if you want to try that, you need to get your eggplant seeds in the soil. Now eggplant you got to be patient, okay? Eggplant's going to take you about 4 months. So before, from seed to harvest, from seed to fruit. So make sure that you start right away. And I'm going to have links. All of these seeds that I'm talking about, all of these I'm talking about are available in my Amazon store. So I'll have links to everything down below. Don't worry. And the last thing on the top 10 list is going to be cucumbers. Now, some of you are saying, huh? Cucumbers in summer? Yes, it is a misconception, a common misconception actually, that cucumbers are supposed to be grown in cool weather, but actually they love the heat. Now, cucumbers that are homegrown, for those of you who don't know, oh Lord, man, they taste if you ever just eat one right off the vine, it'll make you wonder, what are these grocery stores doing? Because they ain't doing it right. I'm telling you, homegrown cucumbers are so delicious. And like I said, most everything is right out of the garden, but especially cucumbers. So with your cucumbers, they like full sun, of course. But I will tell you, I have also grown cucumbers in my green stock, which I normally keep under the patio. And my patio does get some sunshine a little bit, but they came out great. They came out just fine. So full sun, yes, but if you have partial sun, I think you'll be okay. But the good news is that you can have cucumbers in your salad along with your heat wave blend lettuce and tomatoes. You can have a whole salad bar. So finally, and this again, you guys know I always throw this in for those of you who have small spaces. Grow bags, the green stock, raised planters such as this. I'm telling you, these can fit in small spaces. I also have a video on window gardens. If you live in an apartment and you don't have a lot of space, you can still grow herbs and all kinds of things in your window. If you have a balcony, a small porch, whatever, patio, the green stock takes up it's a vertical growing planter. It takes up about the space of a welcome mat. Yeah, a welcome mat. And guess how many things you can grow in a green stock? 30. I mean 30 things in a green stock. I am right now, like I said, I'm growing tomatoes and cucumbers. And in the past, I've grown at least 5 different things. So you can do a lot with a little space. And again, grow bags are another great way. If you have a little patio or something, you can do grow bags and grow ton of stuff in a 20-gallon grow bag. All right. So, but listen, it's almost time for summer. I am so excited. I'm really happy that we are able to still keep this going because, for those of us who like to grow food, we like to keep on eating all through the year. And I'm going to keep this growing all through the year. So stay with me, and until we grow something else, I will see you then. If you have any questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question. I always say if you had that question, someone else had it as well. So be sure and just let me know down below. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye.